Hello, everyone. Welcome to another interview experience webinar. Our guest for today is Kanish Verma, who is a SDE at Amazon. I would request you all to ask your friends to join the webinar as we'd be starting soon. And also, you can drop in your comments. I'd be addressing each one of you at the end of this session. Any query that you want to ask Kanish about the placements and I'd be discussing about the preparation strategies, but apart from that, anything that you want to ask, Ganesh, you can drop in the comments. Okay, so without much further ado, I'd like to invite Kanishk. Hi, Kanishk.
Hey, hi.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good also. Okay, so let's quickly start the session. Uh, I'd first ask you about yourself and also your company.
Sure, sure, sure. As the title says, I am an SD at Amazon, and I recently joined around 3 or 4 months back. Prior to that, I was working as a backend developer in Deutsche Telekom. So it's like a R&D center for the Deutsche Bank you must have heard of. And
Yeah.
there I was working as a backend developer for around 1.3 months. And there only I did my internship for 2 months. I'm a pass out 2020 pass out from Netaji Subhash Institute of Technology, majoring in computer science.
Okay, okay, cool. So, how are you finding the company? How is Amazon?
So the Amazon they have a code that every day is day one. So they do abide by that. So each day you get to learn something new, and you have tasks. You have to seek what extra needs to be done, see what solution fits best, and then proceed with that solution. So it's good learning every day.
Yeah, so it's a much greater learning experience for you. And would you rate
Yes.
it like, is it better than your previous company?
Let's not compare, but yeah, Amazon does stands where it says like you learn every day.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's proceed. I'd ask you about the opportunity. Like, where did you find about Amazon? Was it your in campus or was it somewhere outside?
So, in my college, Amazon used to come for both internship and placements. So, in internship, I sat and after a few rounds couldn't clear. Then again, during the placement, I sat and same thing happened with me. So, since I cleared few of the rounds, so there was cooling period for me. So after that cooling period was off, the recruiter contacted me that they found my candidature in the database and asked me whether I want to move forward with it. So I said yes. So had hacker rank and all those tests, and luckily this time, after so much, I cleared those rounds, and now I'm with Amazon. So it was an
Okay,
off-campus place.
okay. So you are a competitive programming, like you concentrated more on your competitive programming skills on HackerRank, etc.
So I continuously practiced all those things that I used to do in my college also. So since I used to do those in C++, so after my third and fourth year, I joined and had to work with Java. So to increase the fluencies, I did all those questions in Java also, solved all those questions that I had. So that also helped me to have a better grasp on all those CP concept also. So if you go into the depth of CP, it's not just dynamic programming and all. It's mainly of the maths and segment trees and then Fenwick and bit manipulation. Those goes. So a little bit less of CP and more of the company-oriented questions that they ask. But yeah, if you are good in CP, then I guess you are good to go and you can easily crack an interview.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's go into the interview section. Can you describe about the rounds of interview? How many rounds were there, and can you describe all those rounds?
Sure, sure, sure. So after the recruiter contacted me about the candidature, so he shared me with the hacker rank test. So I went through the test. There were two questions, around 1.5 hours was there. So I was able to solve both the questions. So they were of medium level, elite code medium, and I was able to solve both of them pretty quickly because uh, I coded both in C, C++, those questions, so was able to. One was ad hoc, and another one was one of the famous DP question, probably coin change and all. So coded those. Then I got a call that let's move for further rounds. So on one day there was two round schedule, both testing the coding skills. So the round one had two questions asked from me. So three questions actually. So I was able to tell the first one completely coded it. Second question, it was I could not tell the most optimal approach. And third one, I did code and also wrote the code for that. So that's how my first round went. It was a little bit above average, but the second round was very nice. I was able to solve both the questions, and interview was very happy. So I was a little bit into doubt that whether I will be called later or not. But luckily, I was called for third and fourth round also, and this is all happening in 1 week gap. So third and fourth round also on the same day. So they were taken by a much experienced person. Third round was the bar raiser round. So it went for 45 minutes, and the manager, because he was a very senior person, he was very happy with whatever answer that I was giving. So that was also a according to me. And for the fourth round was not on the coding. So fourth round was mainly on the system design, networking, processes, and your whole system design, load balancer, if you have this database and also. It was a little bit grilling, and it went around 1.25 to 1.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
So
after
this
that
entire
was just
process
the
took
HR.
1 week.
No, no,
Okay.
the entire process took 1 month. First was the hacker rank, then there was two rounds after a week, then third and fourth round after a week, and then the HR discussions.
Okay. 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 Great. First of all, congratulations for you as you recently joined Amazon and
Yeah, it's been
achieved this amazing feat.
4 months, I guess.
Okay. So let's go into the project session. What projects did you work in your college, and what did you put in your resume to make it look different?
So basically, my projects were a little bit different because in my college I used to have this laptop, Apple laptop. So I thought, why not to utilize its full power? So I did started doing the iOS development only. So made one app, and that app was part of one internship that I did in my second year, and it was basically a gym app where you, instead of entering your files into gym, entering your attendance and all, you just scan the QR and go ahead. So that was my one project that I had mentioned. Another project was on the iris scanner. So just like the biometric scanner, you have iris scanner using image recognition and all. So yeah, these two projects I had. So it was a little bit different from the other projects because other projects they have like something related to a website and all. So I guess those helped me in a way to make the uh, resume look better, and the skill set were also a little bit different.
Yeah. Also, they seem diff- pretty bit different from others, and also very innovative. Whatever I've heard from you till now. And I think also for the people, if you want to give any advice to people for what to put in their resumes.
So nowadays, I have heard that people are, instead of looking for what project interests them, they look for topic interests them. Like big data is very much into, AI is very into.
Right.
ML is like a very hot topic which people are running behind. So instead of running behind the topics, I would say just go behind a problem that you think is very common. And if you can solve that very common problem, then that is surely going to stand apart from all the other projects. So, for example, you have that cable guy coming your home, and sometimes he misplaces the in the router, your internet router, he misplaces the cable. So why not create a VR virtual assistant that helps to identify in which socket you need to put that cord. So that is going to make life easier. So that's just one suggestion. So yeah, if you are looking for a problem that you have and then solving it, so that will be the best project that you can go through and solve.
Great. Okay. That was knowledgeable and informative. Okay, so moving on about your preparation strategy, what did you do to prepare for the interview?
So I was not a prodigy, so it was not like I prepared for 1 week and I got into Amazon. It was nothing like that. So it was a long process, as I told in the beginning. Probably 3 years for me. First rejected in the interview, internship, then in the placement, then finally I got placed into Amazon. So what I would suggest is solve the problem around more than 200 problem on lead code, not specifically promoting any platform. You can go through any of the platform, but whatever platform you're doing, try to go through as many questions as possible. There are many. After a time, you understand that these type of question are very famous and you must know, like the coin change, minimum stack, Dijkstra's, um, if possible, segmentaries also, if you're looking for a big company, and many of the famous DP questions that you have. So
Right.
200 plus lead code questions in whatever language you are okay. Apart from that, what you can do is you must be familiar with your fundamentals, like operating system, as I told, process, inter-process communication, semaphores, monitors. These topic you must have a knowledge that how these work, deadlocks and all. So they might ask you to code it in the interview just for the sake of seeing that whether you have on hands practice or not. For the networking part, you very basic on the networking. It's very basic, like what happens when you open a website, what all calls are made, how exactly is that flow. And now, as you increase in the seniority, but I've seen in freshers also they asked system design in-depth questions. Like for me, they asked what kind of load balancer will you use, what all load balances are there, like sticky session, or randomly you'll be distributing. So it's good to have knowledge of those because they help in the later rounds. So I'll ask that keep a brush of that also. You should understand what's happening. Apart from that, once you go through the question, that will be fine. Yeah, that should help you cover all those aspects, and you should be good to joining any of the fans.
Okay, okay. So let's move on to some questions that are asked by the commentators. Ashish Joshi asked about how can we increase problem solving skills.
So yeah, before answering that, someone asked me back long time back that what is the skill that is most desired or is the highest paying skill. So I will say problem solving skill is the highest paying.
Of course.
So that is a skill that you do not acquire on 1 day or day two. So it's continuously you have to keep on solving problems. You go to different scenario, and after a certain time, you start instead of thinking subjectively, you start thinking of the different ways. Like I have a problem this, and these three are the possible scenarios, and these are the pros and cons. So that is what your problem solving also does to you, that you start thinking objectively, you see the pros and cons, and if you have a love for coding, then preparing for all these companies and preparing for the DP and all those subjects won't be that hard. You'll enjoy the process.
So problem solving skills builds through regular practice, right?
Regular practice, every day, one or two questions.
Okay, Srinivasulu asked, what should I learn to crack FANG companies?
So if you are below 1 year experience, so I would say that system design basics, uh, the basic questions of the coding interview, just go through the previous year questions of that company. Um, you should be good to go for that. And of course, you must be knowing the questions that they would be asking. And one more thing, that instead of revolving around that you have this solution or this solution and then going to the optimal solution, and at the end you don't have a time to code, so don't do that. Just say out aloud whatever you are thinking of that question. Then if you have an optimal solution, then just jump to that and say that this is what is the optimal solution. Should I code it, or do you need to be sure of anything else? So in my interview, I was asked to prove the time complexity also after I coded the optimal solution. So yeah, these basics you should know after doing certain number of questions, after understanding the time and space complexity, and system design and your operating and networking basics. That is at most that FANG asks. It's not something out of the world.
Okay, so Sinu, I hope you got the answer for your question. Uh, some important DSA concepts as asked by Kalpesh.
Some important DSA concepts like strings is one of the basics, but sometimes they can give you some of the pains. And after doing few of the questions, you'll understand that why to use strings, not string builder, why to use string builder, not string. So yeah, your basics should be clear. Arrays question they do ask. In my Amazon interview also, I was asked a notorious stack question. So yeah, you should be clear with your basics. Apart from that, graph has this your BFS, GFS, nothing out of the world, and your DP famous questions. So these are on the top of my mind, and yeah.
Okay, so going forward, I think this question is pretty obvious. He asked about, okay, it's the same person. Are coding problems too difficult to solve in interview?
Uh, it depends. Sometimes it's your luck that you just solved that question yesterday and you know how to solve it, and at that time it doesn't look that difficult. So you can expect sometimes in the process to have asked a hard question also, but one or two hard question might be there. So that makes your luck factor to be 25 to 20% in your interview. So yeah, but if you have solved 200 plus question on Lead Code or on Interview Bit or GFG or whatever platform that you are following, so you should have a basic approach and a suboptimal approach to that question, and you should be good to go. Because eventually they're testing your problem solving skill, not how accurately you copy or answer from GFG or any other platform.
Okay, okay. So there are many questions from students today. Uh, I think there are many aspirants for Amazon. Harsh Tiwari is asking
Yeah, looks like it.
about summer internship. He is not able to secure any summer internship in third year. What can he do?
So do what I did. I also was not able to crack it. So I just went ahead and did whatever was best. Instead of sitting idle, I joined another company, did my internship there, and with time made my resume more impressive, and later cracked Amazon. So you have your fourth year also. So prepare for that. Do the lead code or do the give your interview with whatever suits you. build your because they generally ask the same set of questions to most of the candidates, like I told, min stack, your Dijkstra's, your trees question left and right, mirror of the tree. So these are the questions that they do ask. So if you are preparing nicely for around 2 to 3 months, so you should be able to crack the placements.
Okay, Dave is asking about is CP really required in Amazon?
Uh, CP not as I told that in-depth CP is not required. So there are many concepts in CP that you do not actually apply in the interviews also. So I would say CP is more specific. DSA's subset is CP, and if you are very good in CP, you will be able to crack any interview. But if you are very good in DSA, then also you'll be able to crack Amazon. So it's not hard
Right.
and fast rule. So yeah, just be make sure that you understand the famous questions that are asked, and then you'll be good to go.
Okay, so this will be our last question for today. Hemant is asking, can you tell how to prepare for dynamic programming?
Okay, so after preparing for strings, arrays, graphs, and these basic of the data structures, I went for the dynamic programming, started solving problems, and uh, and the backtracking also. After doing that, I went into doing question, and then I was seeing why my time complexity is not reducing. Then I got introduced by this dynamic programming concept, and was shocked that this is how you also do the questions and reduce the time complexity. So it after doing certain number of questions for the dynamic programming, you gets the thought process whether it's a bottom up or bottom down. And if you are very good with recursion, so you'll be good to go. And if you understand how recursion is actually working, then dynamic programming won't be very difficult to apply there. And once you understand that, then iteratively you also can do the dynamic programming questions easily. So just don't get disheartened if you do not understand few of the questions in the beginning weeks, but keep on doing it, keep on trying to understand what exactly is happening, how they are seeing that there's uh, overlapping problems, and you can do that using your storing those results. So once you understand that thought process, so dynamic programming will be easier. So one also thing happened in my Amazon was when in the first round I was not able to give the most optimal solution for the second question. They asked me third question. So I coded that in around 5 minutes in iteratively. Oh, in recursion. So then they asked, can you do that in dynamic programming? Also did that in 5 minutes. Then they asked, can you do that in iteratively using the dynamic programming? So I did that. So once you are comfortable with the thought process, so then you can easily understand the topics. And there are some difficult questions in the dynamic programming, but you just keep on grinding and learning each day as you do. That's what programmer does, right?
Yeah, obviously. So, okay, that will be it for today. And thank you, Kanish, for this amazing session today. And I hope you all the best for your future.
Thank you, Sheila. It was a pleasure coming here and giving back to the community. Thank you.
Yeah. And I also hope
Bye bye.
that our audience got an insight about everything from you and they will implement everything that you told us today.
Yes, yes, yes. I hope.
Okay, then. Thank you, Ganesh, once again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, so that was Kanishk from Amazon. Thank you guys for attending this amazing webinar. And if you want to join our next live mock or also interview preparation, you can check out the links in the description below. Okay, then. Until next time. See you. Bye bye.